total from the catastrophic flooding in central Texas has now reached 104 lives lost. That includes at least 28 kids, many of them girls who'd been staying at a summer camp along the Guadalupe River. Search and rescue efforts are ongoing tonight in central Texas. About 5 million people were still under flood watch as of about an hour ago tonight. Part of recovering from this historic and horrifying disaster is, of course, understanding whether we were ready for it, whether we could have done more. This was exactly 4 weeks ago at the Texas Tribune. Quote, staff vacancies hit Texas weather offices as they brace for a busy hurricane season. This was May of this year from KEYE in Austin. Warnings, fears of impacts of staffing cuts at National Weather Service. This was from even earlier, from April, from KXAN in Austin. Head of local weather warnings takes early retirement as NOAA cuts continue. That one's about the person in charge of coordinating weather warnings at the local offices of the National Weather Service for this region where the floods just happened. He was a 32-year veteran of the job. He took early retirement because the Trump administration pushed through its inexplicable austerity regime at agencies that indeed included the National Weather Service and NOAA. Again, this is Austin station KXAN. Quote, the importance of experience in the warning coordination meteorologist role cannot be overstated. Ensuring ample and timely warning to the Central Texas counties is among the chief responsibilities. As for a replacement, the current hiring freeze under the Trump administration may make filling that role more challenging. All of that reporting coming before disaster struck in the Texas Hill Country in the pre-dawn hours of July 4th. Given how quickly that flooding situation escalated, with the water rising 20 or 30 feet in the matter of an hour in some cases, it may be of some comfort to hear former officials from the National Weather Service saying the forecasts ahead of the storm may have been as good as could be expected. But as the New York Times reports today, beyond the vacancies at the regional offices, beyond the number of vacant positions, Texas also faced the loss of experienced people who would typically have helped communicate with local authorities in the hours after flash flood warnings were issued overnight. Like, say, for example, the warning coordination meteorologist with decades of experience who left that exact job in that exact place in the middle of the onslaught against government agencies led by Donald Trump and DOJ. There are real consequences to this president's efforts to dismantle the U.S. government. It's not just about ideology. It is about lives. Joining us now is Eric Holthaus. He's a meteorologist and the founder of Currently Weather Service. He's been doing some, frankly, harrowing reporting on the collision of budget cuts and climate change and science for The Guardian newspaper. His latest article for The Guardian is titled, Texas Floods Reveal Limitations of Disaster Forecasting Under Climate Crisis. Mr. Holthaus, thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a real honor to be here.
The rescue and recovery operations in Texas are still underway. It is heartbreaking. It's also, I think, increasingly infuriating that we're in this situation. Is it fair to say that we are taking action as a country to basically lessen our readiness, to lessen our ability to protect people and warn people in the face of this kind of disaster?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's exactly right. I think that what the Trump administration has been doing is systematically undercutting science. I mean, let's take a step back here. We are in the middle of the most severe problem our species has ever faced in climate change. And that problem is accelerating. Emissions are accelerating. And this administration has really decided to just say, no, we're not going to pay attention to that. And we'll hope that everyone can, fend for themselves. And it's really, really infuriating. As someone who's been covering this beat for 20 years now, I have little kids, I wake up at night and am just worried for, where's the next flood going to be? We haven't entered hurricane season yet, and it's going to be bad, and it's heartbreaking.
I feel like one of the things that we've all had to learn in these last few years is that climate change means climate chaos, it means weather chaos, and it means unpredictability when it comes to dealing with severe weather events of all kinds. One of the things that I think we're looking to science for right now in terms of resilience is to try to increase predictability, to try to increase what we understand about how weather goes haywire in this type of climate crisis that we're in. Is that the kind of science that is being abandoned or turned off by this administration?
Right. I mean, there's one thing with the National Weather Service cuts. So, the Austin, San Antonio office, which has responsibility for Kirk County in this case, was missing its warning coordination meteorologist, as you outlined. And that is the person who coordinates with emergency officials as a representative of meteorologists employed by the federal government to manage that disaster. And yes, they had enough people on hand during this storm to cover that role. But as you said, you lost someone with decades of experience for no reason. And systematically now throughout the administration, as we're going through this budget process the last couple months, the parts of NOAA, parts of the parent of the National Weather Service that have been cut most are the researchers. So the people that are working to make our science, moving it forward, those positions are being cut. The Environmental Modeling Center, which is based in Maryland, their only job is to improve the weather models that every single person in the United States, every weather app, and anytime you get a weather forecast, these are the models that forecast comes from. And those people have been fired. And it's just like, I don't really understand any reason for that other than this idea that, if you stop predicting something, then it won't happen, which obviously is a fairy tale.
Wow. Yeah, it doesn't even count as magic. It'd be bad magic to even try that. Eric Holthaus, founder and chief meteorologist at Currently Weather Service. Thank you for being with us again in the midst of this still ongoing disaster. We look forward to having you back to talk about this more in the future, Eric. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Now apparently we're back in business. This one went up recently in Washington, also about 8 feet tall. It's really big. It shows Trump's signature thumbs up photo pose smashing down onto the crown of the Statue of Liberty. It says in bronze letters across the front, "Dictator approved." And then on the 4 sides of the base, it has 4 quotes from dictators, all praising Trump. There's a quote praising Trump from Vladimir Putin, one from Viktor Orban, one from Jair Bolsonaro, and one from Kim Jong-un. That dictator-approved one went up a few weeks ago in roughly the same place as the Pelosi desk poop statue. The White House was apparently very unhappy about this one. They put out a sort of sad, scoldy, petulant statement about it. They said, quote, "In the United States of America, you have the freedom to display your so-called art, no matter how ugly it is." They actually said that in a White House statement. The people who created that so-called art apparently heard that statement from the White House and thought, challenge accepted. Washingtonian magazine got a comment from one of the anonymous organizers behind that piece of art, who told them that once the White House put out that statement, "You have the freedom to display your so-called art no matter how ugly it is." Once they heard that from the White House as an official White House statement, they decided they would meet the challenge. They would try to create, quote, "the ugliest art that we could think of." And so then they put up a new piece. And it actually has that full White House quote on a plaque. And that plaque is on yet another new sculpture, I think deliberately designed to be as ugly as possible. It's got a gold spray-painted ivy and a gold spray-painted eagle and a gold spray-painted TV. And in these images, it looks like the TV is off, but in situ, this sculpture actually has the TV playing stuff. The TV apparently is battery powered, and it runs a constant loop of video clips of Trump doing his signature dance where he looks like he's doing something rude with each hand. And these clips that play on a loop on this sculpture, they include a little squib of video of Trump kind of doing that dance at a party with the late millionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, to whom President Donald Trump was in fact a friend.